Broadcast and Cinematic Arts Department. The opinions presented on Crosstalk do not necessarily reflect those of Central Michigan University or the Department of Broadcast and Cinematic Arts. And now it's time for Crosstalk.
Hi, welcome to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Jim Bartlett. With me tonight is Paul Emmett, former co-president of GLASS. Going to be talking about a lot of the gay issues that are going on right now. Just out of curiosity, just to clarify for our audience who might not know, what exactly is GLASS?
Okay, GLASS stands for the Gay and Lesbian Association for Student Support. GLASS has 4 functions on the campus. The main function is support for people who are coming out of the closet, dealing with parents and that kind of thing. It also provides educational resources and speaking engagements on campus to try to educate people about sexual orientation issues. It provides social activities, and it provides a political outlet for people who are interested in providing a better social environment for minorities on campus. And the group is celebrating its 20th anniversary, so we're really proud of that.
It's not necessarily just an organization for gays. There are heterosexual members?
Sure. We have gay, lesbian, bisexual people. We have transgender people. We have straight people. Our office coordinator is a straight woman, Karen Brookshire, and we're very proud of that. And so and we have a lot of diversity within the group. High school students, people from the community, a lot of diversity.
Okay, well, we'll be coming back to you, asking you a few more questions about what's going on in your world here at CMU. And I also later will be taking your calls, 774-3691 or 774-3698. We'll talk to you after these.
Vince, that new dummy cam is great.
Yeah, it'll sure give people a whole new outlook on what it's like when you don't wear a safety belt.
I think they'll get the picture.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Tonight, Dolores had a few drinks, did some crack, and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
If you'd like to join in on today's Crosstalk discussion, please call 774-3691.
I wish it was national. I'm just trying to keep myself up to CNN.
Hi, welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Jim Bartlett. With me tonight, once again, just for those of you tuning in late, is former co-president of GLASS, Paul Emmett. Right now, we'd like to talk a little bit about the atmosphere for you here at Central Michigan University. Okay. Do you feel that there's discrimination based on sexual preference here?
Okay, well, first of all, the gay community normally prefers the term sexual orientation because preference implies choice, and I think most members of the gay and lesbian community do not feel like it was a choice. They feel that they were born with their sexual identity. As far as the atmosphere on campus, it's a pretty bad one as far as college campuses go. Last semester, there was a lot of harassment. I received a death threat as the co-president.
Not just because of you being Paul Emmett, but
no,
you being president of GLASS.
Because I was vocal and because I was gay, mostly. I mean, it wasn't just confined to me. There was the same kind of threat was sent to GLASS as an organization. There was graffiti out in front of Warner Hall. I mean, it was just an attack against the gay community on campus. They were trying to shut us up because we were becoming too loud, and so what we did is became twice as loud, and we silenced those people in turn.
As a result of this, have you seen any results within your own organization, any boost in members or more positive feelings, or is it still really, really negative?
I think that there was an initial reaction of fear, but I think that subsided because people just got angry after that. They either got angry or in a lot of different ways got involved in what was going on campus. There were people ready to protest. There was people ready to have candlelight vigils where we had not done that before. The membership doubled. The university started to take those kind of issues seriously. So actually, the person who sent the death threat did the best thing they could have ever done for GLASS, in a way. And it's very twisted, but I mean, it's true, because we could never have gotten the publicity that they gave us otherwise. And we could never have gotten a lot of the gains, I don't think, that we could have gotten without that publicity that came from that. And I also, but GLASS as an organization is a wonderful organization, and it always has been. And it's really now starting to realize its full potential, and I think that's very exciting for the campus. And it's also, it's working with student government. It has a seat on student government. It's working with the Hispanic Student Organization and co-eds, and there's a lot of groups it's trying to work with and try to community build, and I think that's great.
You as before we get too far into the question, so you as a ex-co-president, the views you express here are your own or those of GLASS?
Definitely my own. I no longer speak for GLASS. I spoke for GLASS at one time, but I never spoke for the gay and lesbian community at Central per se, because I only spoke for the people who were members of GLASS. And even a lot of the times when I was co-president of GLASS, I only spoke as Paul Emmett, and I hope people don't take that out of context. I'm just one gay man, and I'm expressing my view. I'm not a lesbian. I can't speak for lesbians. I can't speak for even gay men or anybody else except myself. And so, definitely, I mean, GLASS has a voice, and when it wants to, it uses it.
And it uses it quite well. I mean, you guys have been more vocal in the past year than my 4 years up here.
Sure. GLASS has taken stands on homophobia. It's taken stands on gays in the military, a variety of issues that are very important, and I think that's great.
Do you have any any views on President Plachter coming in? Is that going to affect your organization, or do you feel like he's isn't paying attention to you, or it does that kind of thing?
I think President Plachter, this is my own personal opinion, I've met with him before. I think he's very willing to listen to what gay and lesbian students have to say. I don't think he has a real grasp of what's going on campus as far as gay and lesbian students go, or as far as minority students go. I think he's very good at the administrative side of handling what's going on campus. As far as minority students go, though, I don't think he's real in touch with African Americans, with gay and lesbians, with women. I think he really needs to try to educate himself about those kind of groups and reach out to them a little bit more.
Do you think, besides that, do you think there's anything that, say, just a general person, one person can do to help your cause, or to that kind of thing?
You mean on campus? Or?
Yeah, on campus or just anywhere.
They could join GLASS. They could join PFLAG, which is Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. If they hear somebody making an anti-gay remark, they could just say that's not appropriate and I don't appreciate it. A bunch of things like that. I think it's very important that people get involved, because we can't do this by ourselves. We are a numerical minority like no other in this country, with the exception of maybe Jewish people. I mean, we're very low in number, especially the number of people who are out of the closet. And so the more people who want to help, the closer we'll get to getting our civil rights.
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt, but we do have a caller, and we want to get them out of here as soon as we can.
Cool.
Caller, what's your name and what's your question?
Hello?
Hello, we have you. What's your name and what's your question?
This is Scott.
Hi, Scott. And your question?
Yeah, I have a question for Paul. Does the GLASS organization get allocated funds from Central Michigan University?
Just as any other student organization on this campus, GLASS does receive funding from the Student Budget and Allocation Committee. Our funding was at an all-time high last year. It went from $1,000 to $3,000.
Is this because of an increase in members, or is this because of an increase in...
I think it was just because we provided very specific programs. We did a very good budget. According to the SBAC chair, we provided pamphlets, we provided, I mean, there were very specific programs that were going to reach the whole audience at Central Michigan University. And so we got the funding based on the quality of the programs that we were proposing to do on campus. And we brought Rat and Bob Jackson Paris here, and we filled the Kiva room, which is an incredible thing for a gay and lesbian student organization, to fill the Kiva and to try to educate people on this campus. I mean, unless you want people getting more death threats, money is a key thing. We're not going to be able to educate people without money. We need money. I mean, that's just for any group. I know they're trying to cut the funding for the Women's Studies program. I think that's outrageous. I mean, I went to Washington, D.C. on a conference that student government sent me on. 1 in 7 women on this campus will have, 1 in 4 women will have an attempted rape against them, and 1 in 7 will actually be raped. So those are the statistics that I got. And then they want to cut funding on women's studies programs so that men are not educated on women's issues, and that makes no sense to me. I don't think you should cut $8,000 if that means one woman's going to get raped on this campus. That's outrageous.
So basically the answer to the question is yes, you do receive money from
we receive money, and we put it to good use, and I hope we receive more money.
Take care of your question for you, Scott.
Hello?
Hi. Do you have another question, or?
No, I just wanted to say he answered my question fully. I just don't agree with Central Michigan allocating funds for glass organization. It's pardon me?
Is there any reason for that? Can you give us some basis?
Yeah, it just seems like too many minority. I mean, I don't want to put the glass organization into a minority status, but it seems like blacks and people on this campus seem to take advantage of getting money from Central Michigan, and like the majority of the white people, seems we get screwed over, basically.
Actually, a majority of the white people on this campus are much better funded than the minorities on this campus. Student Government Association, although it now represents minorities because of caucus seats that have been put on there, basically represents the interests of all students, including the white students, and so does Residence Hall Assembly. Student government gets $19,000 skimmed off the top, compared to $3,000 for glass. I think, like, Hispanic Student Organization got less than $500 last year.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking about a very small pool of money that's allocated to student organizations in the first place, and then the minority groups get even less than that compared to the Greek system, compared to what are predominantly white organizations on this campus. So I don't think that white people on this campus have much to worry about as far as being represented, especially in the classroom. I mean, every time I go into a classroom, I'm getting the white male perspective on what's going on in the world. And so I don't think he has to worry about needing a lot of money to get his viewpoint across. His viewpoint permeates society. And I'm not trying to put him down as a white heterosexual male. I'm just saying that minorities are not understood, and his comments, I think, point to the fact that he has no understanding of minority. He doesn't even know if gay and lesbian people are a minority group. So, and I don't want to come across as being as rude, but I just think that with education, you have to have money. And so...
Okay, I'd like to come back to the minority status of gay and lesbians in a little bit, but first I want to take care of this caller. Caller, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Paul Western, and I'm just wondering if the population of gay men on the Central Michigan campus is any higher than it is in the general public.
Actually, it's hard to say because it depends on where you're at. Like in New York, it's much easier to be out of the closet. At Central Michigan University, it's not very easy to be out of the closet. It all depends. I don't think so. I think there's many gay men here proportionally with our population as there probably is in the general population.
Take care of your question for you? Okay, I guess we did. I'd like to talk about the Matusik Initiative, which states that there's a proposed law in the state of Michigan in which you would not receive the rights of a minority group, basically.
Right.
Why would you want to be considered a minority group, and exactly what is the Matusik Initiative all about from your perspective?
Okay, I think that, I don't know that I necessarily, in my view, want to be known. I think we need to be known as a minority group. Let's face it, it's not gay and lesbian people who make our sexual orientation an issue. It's a certain segment of the heterosexual society that denies us the right to be in the military, the right to get married, anti-discrimination laws to protect our jobs, to protect our housing. And as long as that's continuing, there needs to be civil rights protection for gay and lesbian people and bisexual people. And what the Matusik Initiative strives to do is make it so that gay and lesbian people don't get any civil rights protections, no non-discrimination laws. And what we found in Colorado after Amendment 2 was passed is that hate crimes...
Just to interrupt for a second, can you go into what Amendment 2 was a little bit for our viewers who might not know?
Okay, what Amendment 2...
just a side note for y'all.
Right, in 92, when Clinton was elected, Colorado voters passed Amendment 2, which basically said there could be no laws passed anywhere that would prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation. Once that law was passed, you saw an increase of hate crimes and harassment of gay and lesbian people go up 275%, which I don't know if the people who are behind the Matusik Initiative know that, but that's what's going to happen in Michigan if they try to do that. And what they want to do is I don't know if they want us to get kicked out of our homes and lose our jobs, but that's certainly what's going to happen. And they bandy about the term special rights. I saw that in CM Life today. There's a person who was talking about special rights. I think what we have to realize is that gay and lesbian people in over half the states in this country already have special attention before the law in the form of sodomy laws. They're already giving us special attention before the law. They're singling us out, but in a negative way. What we're trying to do is I guess, if they're going to single us out at all for discrimination, we want to make it so that they can't do that. We want to make it so that they can't single us out. We want to make it so that we have the same opportunities and the same protections that already exist for other groups in our society, at least theoretically.
I'd like to ask you, it sounds like a really hard fight. Is there anybody backing you up? But where's the American Civil Liberties Union?
Sure, the American Civil Liberties Union, the NAACP, now the National Organization for Women. There are a bunch of groups in the country, especially when it concerned gays in the military, that stood behind the gay community on that, and are pushing for a federal gay and lesbian civil rights bill.
Okay, I do want to take care of our caller. We'll
Okay,
come back
sure.
to the gays in the military issue.
Okay.
Caller, what's your name and what's your question, please? Hello, caller.
John?
John, what's your question, John?
Yes, my question for Paul is, I was just wondering, do your parents and family support you, or...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Or, you know, that's basically my question there.
Yeah, my parents, at first they had a very hard time with it because they had been socialized to believe that being gay was wrong. And when they found out about it, they were not very supportive. But after, they've gone out and educated themselves. I wasn't able to help them at the time because I was coming out myself. They went out and got the books at the library and educated themselves. And now they're very supportive. My mother came up here when the AIDS quilt was here last semester. She wore a pink triangle button, which is a symbol for equal rights for gay and lesbian people. They were at the Michigan State Fair and they signed the petition for gay rights. They're out there and they're trying to help. And so yes, my parents are very supportive and I'm very grateful to them for that. Because without them, I don't know that I'd be able to get through things as easily without my family and friends.
Well, thank you very much for your call, caller. Want to go back to the gays and military thing.
Okay.
The don't tell, don't know, or don't say, don't tell kind of philosophy that Clinton has taken, the stance he's taken. How do you feel about that? Is it a step forward, a step back, a step sideways?
I think it's, we're probably about in the same place we were at before. Gay and lesbian people can't be in the military. The only difference now is that they're not going to ask us whether we're gay or not. So we don't have to lie about it in that respect, but we certainly can't come out and say that we're gay. And if they ask us if we're gay because they have reason to believe we're gay, we do have to lie about it. So he lied to us. He said he was going to lift the ban. He didn't lift the ban. He lied to us. And he's going to lose a lot of support within the gay community.
Forgive me if I seem like I'm persecuting you, but such a hostile environment, the military, obviously they don't smile upon you there. Why push it? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't want to be in the military myself, but there are gay and lesbian people who want to be in the military. And it's up to them. I mean, I'm sure that they know, just like you said, that the environment is not great for them there. But if they're patriotic enough, I guess, and if they want to serve their country, they do want to be there, and they should have that choice. And regardless of whether or not I want to be in the military. And it's the same as ROTC on campus. We have an affirmative action policy that bars discrimination based on sexual orientation. ROTC violates that. Therefore, ROTC should not be allowed to remain in this university. And I know that's going to be controversial and probably offend all of the ROTC people out in the audience, but I'm not going to apologize for that because I feel very strongly on this issue. I don't think that no more than I think the Klan should be at this university. I don't think any group that discriminates should be at this university. Certainly not sanctioned by the university. And I don't think the ROTC should be sanctioned by the university. As far as gay and lesbian people being in the military, it's a right to be in the military. And for them to try to implement Don't Ask, Don't Tell tramples on First Amendment rights to free speech because people can't come out and say they're gay or lesbian. It tramples on freedom of religion because people who believe it's okay to be gay have their religious beliefs trampled upon. 14th Amendment right to equal protection under the law, a bunch of rights. It just tramples them.
A lot of views on that. I'd like to take care of our caller, though.
Sure.
Caller, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Ami, and my question is, I'm from Traverse City, and up there we have a bar for gays and lesbians. I was wondering if there's any recreational places to go for around the CMU area.
Not in the CMU area. I'd actually like to know what the name of the gay bar is in Traverse City because I'd probably like to go to it. No, not in Mount Pleasant. There's not. There is no gay bars. There are no. I mean, all over the country, there's gay bowling leagues, quilting clubs. I don't know, a bunch of things, and they don't have anything like that here at Central except for Glass. I think that would be welcome at welcome at CMU. Certainly, Glass members go to clubs in different cities like Flint, Lansing. because it's hard to meet people on this campus because it's not a very good environment. So you have to go to places where you know there's gay and lesbian people.
Have another caller.
Okay.
Caller, what's your name and what's your question? Hello, caller.
Hello.
How are you?
Bill.
Okay, and what's your question, Bill?
Yeah, just to clarify the last statement that Paul made regarding the ROTC. Okay. I believe that currently there is the question is, are you a homosexual on the application for ROTC? However, that has been crossed off and is no longer asked.
Right.
I guess I just basically wanted to clarify that so it's clear to those who may be interested in joining the ROTC.
I think that's true. I mean, if a gay or lesbian student wanted to go to the ROTC, well, I couldn't because I'm openly gay. So they're just going to tell me right then and there that once you join, we'll boot you out, I imagine. But for those gay and lesbian people who are in the closet, if they went to the ROTC program, yes, ROTC is not going to ask you whether you're gay or lesbian, but realize that once you come out of the closet, you can't get a minor in military science. You can't sign up for advanced camp. You can't get scholarship money because openly gay and lesbian people will not be able to get those things because it will be incompatible with military service according to the military.
Okay, well, Bill, do you have anything to add to that or anything?
No.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your call, Bill. You mentioned President Clinton a little earlier, and you say he didn't back you up. Is there, do you feel he broke his promises to you because he never really intended to carry them through, or did he chicken out, or what's your view on President Clinton?
I like to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I'm not anti-Clinton. I think President Clinton's doing a lot of good things for the country, things that I happen to agree with. But on this one issue, which is central to my life, because equal rights for gays in the military could lead to other civil rights gains, I don't want to characterize him as being a liar from the very start and say that he didn't intend on doing it. But certainly if he did intend on doing it, he backed down to pressure, and that's certainly, I don't think, providing leadership.
Definitely didn't help you or him.
Right, it made him look like he was waffling on an issue, and it certainly hurt our community because what they basically said is it's okay to be gay as long as you're in the closet, which is ridiculous.
Okay, we do have another caller. Caller, what's your name and what's your question?
This is Scott.
Scott, tell us what your question is.
I'd like to ask Paul, with bands like Guns N' Roses with the song 1 in a Million that pertains to homosexuality, and shows like Living Color that do skits about the two gay men, men on film, I just want to know what your opinion of taking homosexuality lightly in that sense.
I have mixed feelings on that. I mean, Guns N' Roses, I won't buy any of their albums personally because I was offended by the message that they had. It was just blatantly homophobic. It wasn't even supposed to be taken in any context, and it was offensive to African Americans and a lot of different minority groups. As far as in Living Color, I think they take a stereotype and exaggerate it to such a point that anybody who seriously believes that that's the gay community being portrayed is pretty much an idiot, I think. So, I mean, I look at that and I see, even myself, I probably fit the stereotype of what a gay man is, and it is just a stereotype. But I might happen to fit it, and to see even my personality taken and exaggerated to such an extent, I kind of find that amusing. So I'm not so much offended by In Living Color, but there are certain artists like Andrew Dice Clay or Guns N' Roses that I do find offensive. For me, it depends on what I think their intent is, I guess.
Okay, so like parody can be a sincere form of flattery, but also it can be definitely detrimental. It all depends on the context of the comment.
Sure, it certainly depends on the context. And I wish there were more artists that were out there just blatantly supporting us, like Elizabeth Taylor, like Madonna, Katie Lang, Erasure, people from both communities doing pro-gay and lesbian work and not buying into the stereotypes and not making fun of gays. I think there needs to be a balance, and I would like to see that.
Okay. Well, thank you for your call, Bill. Take care of everything for you? I guess we did. All right, thanks again, Bill. I'd like to ask you a little more about going to the hullabaloo that's going on in Virginia, for lack of a cooler journalism-type word. But the daughter being taken away from the lesbian couple.
Right.
How do you feel about that? What kind of issues are at play here? I mean, that's much deeper than just, I mean, this is taking away somebody's child.
I think it's right. They're not thinking about what's in the best interest of the child. I think it's, what happened was in Virginia, the court decided that a lesbian was an unfit mother, and they awarded custody of the child to the lesbian's mother, which would be the grandmother. I think that's offensive, that people are taking, there's this loving lesbian couple providing this kid with a good home, which a lot of heterosexual couples and gay couples sometimes can't do. But here's this couple providing a loving home, and they want to take this child away simply because a mother's a lesbian. And I think that's one of the most offensive things I've ever heard as a gay man. And I mean, I guess all I can say is I want to write this woman a letter of support and say, I can't believe this is happening to you in this country. I mean, because I know full well that if it was a racist couple raising a child, I mean, there's plenty of Klan parents or Nazi parents out there raising children, and we're not snatching those children away. Certainly, we shouldn't be snatching away children from loving homes. And I think it's a slap in the face to lesbians and to women in general. I just think it's horrible.
That brings up the issue of the home environment and also what's best for the children.
Sure.
Do you feel a gay couple can provide a child with everything that they need? No question about it?
Sure. I think that all that's important, I don't think sexual orientation matters as far as being a parent. What matters as far as being a parent is that the child is loved and cared for and provided for. And as long as those things are present, I don't think it should matter the race or the sexual orientation. I think it's very important that the child's interests come first. And there are well-adjusted children growing up with lesbian and gay parents.
Okay, thank you. We're going to cut away again. We'll be back in about a minute or so. I'm back with Paul Emmett, ex-co-president of GLASS.
Personally, I learned about the disease and all the implications when my brother was diagnosed. And it was a harsh reality. I had to learn a lot very quickly. Even though I thought I knew a lot about AIDS, the picture changed when it became a family issue.
If I, the son of a Baptist minister from basically a rural area, can acquire AIDS, anybody can.
Obviously, women can get AIDS. I mean, I'm certainly here to witness to that. That it's not a we-they disease, it's an us disease.
AIDS is not a problem that affects other people. AIDS affects us all. Know the facts about AIDS. Know how to protect yourself and your family. Tell others. For answers to your questions about AIDS, call 1-800-342-AIDS.
Hi, welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Jim Bartlett. Once again, Paul Emmett with me is here. He's the ex-co-president of GLASS. Got that title down.
That's right. Thanks.
Is there anything we have about a minute left on the show. Is there anything you'd like to say to the CMU student environment or even Mount Pleasant?
Yeah, I would like to ask the students to look within themselves and try to understand African Americans and gay and lesbian people and women and try to be supportive of those people and try to understand what they're going through. Gay and lesbian people are not sick, and they're very happy, well-adjusted people. They need a lot of support, though, in the society that we live in, and I would hope that everybody on this campus could find it within them to reach out and give a little support.
Where can they get this
GLASS. GLASS would be a great place, OBU. I mean, there's a lot of organizations on campus that are trying to do things to provide a better environment for minorities on campus, and certainly GLASS does that. And GLASS would welcome anyone who would like to join the organization who is gay affirmative.
Oh, you're on. You might as well give them a plug. You want to give them the phone number?
Yeah. The male co-president is Kevin Aiken, and you can reach him at 773-9311. I hope you don't mind, Kevin. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to boost up GLASS. And so, please, try to contact GLASS. And we have an office in the bottom of the UC, and you can reach us at Warner Post Office Box 34. If you have any questions, I'm sure GLASS would love to hear from you.
Okay. Oh, we got about 30 seconds left.
30 seconds.
Yeah. Talk to me. What kind of issues do you see the future of your movement going towards?
A federal gay and lesbian civil rights bill. I think that's next on the agenda. I think it's really important. And for me, graduating and getting on with my life.
Out into December.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for being with us, Paul. It was really good having you on.
Thank
a lot
you
of
very
callers.
much.
Thanks for your calls, everyone. Take care.
Crosstalk, is a presentation by the students of the Broadcast and Cinematic Arts Department of Central Michigan University. Any unauthorized reproduction or rebroadcast, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of the Department of Broadcast and Cinematic Arts, the producers of Crosstalk, and Central Michigan University is strictly prohibited. Any comments, suggestions, or if you would like to be a guest on Crosstalk for a certain topic, write Crosstalk of the Department of Broadcast and Cinematic Arts, Central Michigan University, Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Crosstalk will be back next week with another issue that concerns you.
Cadillac.